They thought it was funny. The cafe lights were low, the air thick with perfume and performance. She sat across from me, her friends hovering nearby like vultures dressed as bridesmaids. Their phones were ready, recording, probably. She leaned forward and said, loud enough for them to hear, "Let's just end it. It's not working." Laughter from the corner, whispered bets. One of them mouthed, finally. I watched her, not the audience. The faint tremor in her hand, the small nervous glance toward her friend's camera, the way her voice shook on "end it." She thought she was in control. I smiled. Calm, detached. A man who had already rehearsed this scene in silence. "Sure," I said. "Let's make it real." The giggles stopped. The phones lowered. It was like cutting the power in a theater mid-act. The room fell into quiet disbelief, the kind that comes before understanding turns sharp. I stood up, placed the key to her apartment on the table, and walked out. Behind me, someone whispered, "Wait, was that real?" It was. It started weeks before that night. Small things, a shift in tone, a text unanswered a little too long, a lie so casual it almost went unnoticed. She'd begun building a narrative, a version of me that was dull, controlling, insecure. The kind of story you tell to justify something you've already done. I saw it in her social media posts. Subtle jabs, disguised as jokes. Captions about outgrowing people who hold you back. Always vague enough to deny, pointed enough to hurt. When I confronted her, she smiled and said, "You're paranoid. It's just content." But betrayal doesn't always start with another person. Sometimes it starts with an audience. She wanted attention, pity, applause. So she began performing her independence, rehearsing her breakup like a scene she needed to perfect before opening night. She thought I'd cling, plead, react. She didn't understand that silence is its own kind of violence. I stopped arguing, stopped defending myself. I just listened. And while she staged her little play, I quietly began writing my own ending. I backed up every message, screenshots of her private group chats, posts from burner accounts her friends thought were anonymous, a web of mockery so rehearsed it could have been a script. They joked about the breakup reveal, about filming it, about making it go viral. I didn't rage. I didn't even feel. I'd interrogated men who lied to save their lives, so watching her lie for likes barely registered as emotion. I just observed, noting every detail, every weakness, every dependency she didn't realize I still controlled. Her lease under my name, her phone plan, the joint account she assumed I'd forget to close. When you love someone, you give them access. When they betray you, that access becomes leverage. So I waited, quiet, cold, patient. Let her plan her performance. Let her think she was safe. The next morning, her texts came fast. "You embarrassed me. It was just a joke. Can we talk?" No, we couldn't. By noon, she discovered her apartment access revoked, the utilities transferred, her phone disconnected, the joint account frozen. She called from her friend's number, crying now, her voice stripped of the actress's polish. "You can't just leave me like this." "I didn't," I said. "You did. I'm just finishing the scene." There was silence on the line. Then the sound of understanding, ragged, shallow breathing. The sound of realization that the game had turned. The audience she wanted? Gone. The control she flaunted? Gone. All that remained was the truth. She'd scripted her own downfall. I just let the performance run to its natural end. I didn't post anything, didn't need to. The videos her friends filmed never saw the light of day, because I sent each of them a polite, legally worded message reminding them that defamation carries real consequences. One of them cried over the phone, begging forgiveness. The rest deleted everything. Meanwhile, she tried to rewrite the story again, this time as the victim. But no one bought it. People had seen the mask slip. Her friends distanced themselves, quietly, as if betrayal were contagious. Reputation doesn't shatter loudly, it just stops being repeated. By the end of the week, she'd lost the spotlight she craved most: attention. And I hadn't raised my voice once. I live quietly now. No performances, no audience. Just quiet evenings and the kind of peace that doesn't need witnesses. Sometimes I pass the cafe where she staged her scene. New couples sit at that same table, laughing. They don't know what happened there. They don't need to. I learned something that night, something permanent. People don't destroy you with betrayal. They hand you the blueprint to their own collapse and hope you don't read it. She wanted a show. I gave her the ending she earned. And when the curtain finally fell, she realized too late, some roles are never offered twice.